Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first of 3 Halloween games. The end of the month, of course, we'll be celebrating what hopefully will be a debauched and violent 3 weeks of Halloween stuff with a fun and silly What We Do in the Shadows game. But tonight is the Crimson Carnage. We're going to do a quick introduction on this level 0 campaign, which means they don't even have a class. They are just normal, everyday people. And we'll go from there. Starting off with Michael. Who are you? Who are you playing? And what are your pronouns?
Well, as always, I am the dastardly, dashing Michael Powell, and I'm playing wait, that's another month. I'm playing this time the ever pious Brother Good.
All right. And what are your pronouns, Michael?
Oh, and our pronouns are he, him, they, them.
Lovely. I want to take a quick second to shout out to Blue Suit. Thank you for the tentacle raid. Hope you guys like this. This is kind of the second time we're doing this Halloween show. So by all means, get comfortable and let's have some fun. That being said, Ian, who are you? Who are you playing? And what are your pronouns?
Hey guys, my name is Ian. Tonight I will be playing Reginald Silverspire, the monster hunter. And our pronouns are he, him.
Very nice. Last up, Sam. Great to have you back, and please let us know who are you playing, and what are your pronouns?
Hello, glad to be back. Good to see everyone. And I am Sam Sterling, and I am playing Corinne, the deaf-ear elf noble. That's her job. She's a noble. Our pronouns are she, her.
Lovely. Well, my name is PJ. I'm the GM for Edge of Legend and Nat 20 Productions. My pronouns are he, him, and tonight I'll be playing everyone and everything in between. And without further ado, we are going to get started on the first episode of the Crimson Carnage. So I want you now to join me. Currently, the heroes are somewhere deep in a grip upon a bear surrounded in a veil of green fire. As Korokos the Conqueror looks Woodward dead in the eye, but we're not telling that story tonight. No. Across the sea, across massive expanse of blue water, deep beyond, around the land of Ur and right in the Akkadian Empire, we see a former nation state, a former city-state of Acadia. Welcome to the land of Enshelator. Tonight's a very special night for this city nation, this town of people, as they are there to celebrate the Crimson Carnival. One part costumes and festivals and party games, one part celebration of the nation's founding. That's the story they tell you on the streets of Enshelator, as children play in costume and guise, and games are played, and things go pop with fire, and candy spills through the streets, and joy is had. But high up on the center spire in the town, the massive conflux of the 7 families have split the entire city in 7 chunks. They know the Crimson Carnival would be something different. It is, in a sense, a celebration of how this city was started. The story of that's a secret the nobles keep near and dear to their heart. For if the world knows how they built this city, they may painstakingly burn it to the ground. But such frivolity, such worries are not theirs, for now they live in opulence, power amongst the poor. And this party happens to be in the mansion of Lord Rasuchin. Lord Rasuchin is one of the 7 noble families that runs this city. And here we set the scene. The moon hangs low in the sky, bright golden yellow like the burning wick of a candle in the barren darkness. Clouds start to creep like a hazy veil high above the city of Enshelator. On the streets of this city, the common folk laugh and dance, eat fancy candied meats and sweet delicacies as 7 colored fireworks burst into display. They do not have much, but they have come out in droves, packing the streets to have each other and this time and this day. And on that massive hill in the center of the city-state, it serves as buildings and castles so powerful, tall and massive, that they almost form a new city unto themselves. the houses of the first 7 families, powerful nobles, and in the manner of the Rasuchin family, one of the first since the Great Dragon War to ensure that this land would stand tall. The real Crimson Carnival happens. Few of the guards have taken the festivities, and they may have been lost from their duties to the party and pleasures therein. Debauchery of all manner and laughter echoes dangerously as the servants and workers sigh, stressing on how to keep the tasks assigned to them. Stomping around the party, massive forms of flesh and metal, faces hidden from sight, and names lost to hell, stands as their most powerful elite. They go by only the malefactors. They do not drink, they do not eat, they do not participate. Much like the moon in the sky, they are monolithic and never present. The head of House Rasuchin seems to be running around this massive manor in his fancy red robe with silver and purple filigree and trim. He carries a massive crystal mug in one hand and a leather cord latched to it so he'll never drop this drink. But in doing so, he started a trend, a game of sorts, where others are now doing the same. Now, a few cups in, he is also brandishing a dagger, and much to everyone's confusion, he is running around wielding this thing drunkenly with no abandon, with all abandon. More confusing is the nature that everyone is laughing at the spectacle. This 50-year-old inebriated man with drink strapped to his hand, wielding a knife. You all are in the dancing hall. It's a party going on currently. It takes up a massive 2,000 square foot hall, a dance floor, marble gilded with platinum images depicting humans, dragons, and past family members. High up on the walls are portraits of the past heads of family, painted in heavy paint and intense strokes, turning the heads of the family into images of almost a dark, muddy, thick to the touch like old pulp comics. There's a massive mirror on one side of the wall to make the room look even larger and allow those that wish to stare at their wonderful gowns and coats the opportunity for their vanity. The ballroom has 4 doors, one to enter, one to leave, and further recesses to the massive building, while 2 go to the back rooms where the kitchen staff and the servant cleaning closets, etc., are being kept. The most outstanding thing in this room is a massive indoor fountain covered in sharp, gnarled gold designs of teeth, horns, claws, and twisted, jagged angles. Behind it, a glass window, the size of the entire room. It looks over the whole city, as well as a lush garden, hanging low and peering through with cycloptic eyes the moon itself, staring into the party. And this is where we open up, with laughing, drinking, violent weapons being branched with an almost comical disregard for human safety. Everyone here is somewhere in the party. First things first, I want to know where you are and what you're doing. Michael, what is Brother Good doing at this party? Where is he currently?
Right now, Brother Good, let's say he's talking with some well-to-do merchants right now, trying to, collect collections, donations for his church.
Right. So as you do this, unfortunately, everyone there kind of scoffs and laughs at you as they look down their nose at the little corgi person begging for scraps. They kind of chuckle derisively. I don't see a reason to give to the poor or the church. If they really wanted to find wealth, well, they changed their religion. Thank you. Have a nice day.
But the Good's kind of, looks a little bit down, but as a wise person in his faith once said, it never hurts to try. So he's going to he's going to noble, trying to gain some collections. Not really begging, but also he's, let's say, he's throwing a little bit of if you donate, you only show your fellow nobles that how great you are, how how rich you are in life that a donation to a cause like this is a show of good faith, a show of a brotherhood, a show of goodwill.
Give me a diplomacy check as you try to beg for money and convince them that it's the right thing to do.
Right. Let's see, my stats for that is I got a 16.
Not bad. A few take pity and they reach into their coin purses. They throw you some coins. You get a total of 5 gold coins. They look to you and they say, "Now, shoo, be gone. You're ruining my fun. I'm feeling rather depressed now. Unless you wish to have a drink and then maybe join us in our lively frivolities."
Uh, I thank you for the offer, but was it? Was it? Eileen's work is never done. If you must excuse me, I must try to procure some further donations.
They kind of shoo away as they're a little inebriated and they storm off into the party. Give me a quick perception check.
Okay, actually get bonuses on this. Ooh, all right. Okay, it's a dirty 20.
Okay. You, as you're looking for money, you see a man in red coattails with glasses kind of down the bridge of his nose, seemingly very well to do, surprisingly young, and he seems to be storming through. He knocks into you and kind of continues walking by. But something about him seems very unusual from the entirety of the party.
He knocks into Brother Good, or was Brother Good kind of in his way?
He knocked into you.
Oh, okay. Even though it wasn't any fault of Brother Good, him being who he is, excuses like, oh, pardon me, yes, and he's about to ask for get his attention, but I guess the young man walks away like before he could, and Brother Good just kind of looks down and just kind of goes, oh shucks.
As you do, you suddenly feel a presence. The man is back. His face is directly into your face. You see his eyes kind of burning red and gold, his hair black and slicked back. And there's this unusual smell about him. It smells too good. It smells like someone is trying to fabricate the world's most amazing scent. And his skin is almost so white, it almost looks like he's wearing makeup. But it's not, it's just how his skin is. And he looks to you and he says, "Apologies all around, debased, abjured, and other, alas, I must abscond." And with this alliteration, he kind of touches your nose and turns and walks away.
Brother Good kind of with his paws, rubs his nose. You know how the dog kind of does sometimes. Yes, no problem, no problem. No problem. Might you have a moment for the good word of Eileen?
Moments momentarily make money. Minutes, as a man may, I may not make more for your means. My apologies.
Of course, of course. Well, may Eileen bless your day.
Maybe one more perception check.
14.
Though it is subtle, you can see there's a sickening kind of recoil from that word, that name. As you say, Ile, make your day. He's kind of, thank you for your divine blessing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the energy changes. There's a beat that holds pregnant in the air for what feels like minutes. And you see a mixture of hatred, condemnation, judgment, and then all floats away for the world's cheapest smile as they turn and leave, just under their breath going, busy, busy, busy. Been busy so long. My plans will come true. And then just walks away.
All right. Well, I guess now that as he walks away, but the Good's going to see if he could find some more donations, trying to raise some funds for the kids.
Okay. From there, we are going to cut to Ian. Ian, what are you doing at this party?
Reginald is somewhere near one of the corners of the fountain. And he is standing on anything that would be considered a dais, regaling anyone and everyone, even if they aren't actively listening, they're hearing parts of his tales of the great monsters he has hunted through his age. Now. A manticore is a fight. And he starts going on about this manticore he fought. Now, I was lucky with this last one. It had a scorpion tail, not that of a snake. And he's giving all these details and going about the silver chains he's used to tie the thing down and take it trophies. And he holds up a big eye the size of his hand, like the size of a baseball. And he puts it away rather quickly, not to scare the guests, and goes about telling his tales, maybe getting an extra coin or a drink poured in his favor.
Give me a performance check off of that.
Let's see. 17.
They love your story. They pour you 2 more glasses of wine, and while they refuse to give you gold, a lot of the people are giving you keys to their estate later, just kind of saying, please tell us more stories, and then afterwards we can have private stories later in private times.
Reginald ends up taking these keys and just putting them into a breast pocket of his. In between when he's examining the coins, he pulls out his monocle to look at them as he's making sure they are true to their worth, and puts them in his vest. Happily rings on his fingers, clinking against the wine glasses that he collects. Well, thank you so much. I do hope that at some point I can regale others with stories. I have been fortunately called here to this party to give you all a sense of entertainment for the evening, maybe bring in the darker side of tales and monsters I have taken down throughout my years. And doing so, just kind of schmoozing everybody he can around him.
In a unusual twisted display, Lord Rasuchin comes by hearing your tales and feeling invigorated, starts grabbing his friends and pretending to stab them with the dagger he is carrying. And he is drunk. And while there is just inches that they can have their throat slit or stomach exposed, everyone is laughing in this horrendous macabre display as they feel no threat to their own life. And Lord Rasuchin, drink literally latched into his hand, wielding a knife, turns to you and he says, I bet 'twas you that came with the manticore. Tell me, have you ever slayed a dragon or a devil? Maybe.
The Reginald kind of tries to lean into the fact that he knows he's benefiting the host, but also doesn't want to stir up any antics with that knife. A dragon. No, that is not one man's job. I handle the simpler things, maybe a drake or a were, but a devil I have taken down. And he brings out this big, it's a holy symbol, but he doesn't ever say the name of who it is. It's just kind of a holy symbol that is, it's gilded in what looks to be gold and silver. And this would ward off any such beast. And he brandishes it in front of the group, and he looks at them closely as he's selling this idea of maybe finding a devil among them, and puts it away in his pocket.
Give me a perception check or religion check.
Okay. I got a 15.
15. For both?
Yes.
As you brandish the symbol, for the first time this entire party, you see the drunkards actually feel terror. As you bring the necklace around, saying this will truly just reploy any devils or demons. They kind of, and then as it passes by, they start chuckling out of relief and nerves. You see Rasuchin himself staring at it, and he starts kind of poking at it with his knife. Let me see here. Give that to me. Let me see. Let us have a see. Give it to me now.
Reginald kind of taking the item and making sure it's not struck by the knife, ends up turning away and pulling out many more trinkets, something that soothsayers have given them, or teeth of a large monster, anything that he has collected over his years, arrowheads that have been lodged. Any of these trinkets, or any of these can tell a story if you need it.
Mm. Ah, I get it now. I may be drunk, but Lord Rasuchin is on to you. He turns around. Ladies and gentlemen, this monster hunter is indeed fooling us. Because they kill more than just monsters. They also slay and lay the soothsayers that lead them there. I'm onto your game, you rogue, you.
Sir, in such company, I don't wish to regale you with such tales. We have many here who came for the beasts slain, not anything else.
Out of curiosity, what is your armor class, level 0 that you
Oh,
are?
my AC is a 13. I spent all my money on padded armor.
In a drunken stupor, they look at you. Their knife gently kind of crosses around your items and slowly poke into your body. And then he goes, if I kill the monster killer, does that make me a monster killer? And he draws his blade back in this drunken stupor, makes a wild swing, misses you, and collapses onto you. But you know he was a few inches away from nicking your kidneys.
Sir, if you please, I feel why you are one mighty with a dagger. I do not wish to start a ruckus amongst you and your folk. I speak of blood. I do not wish to spill it.
You're right. Why must we speak of spilling the blood when we should speak of spilling the wine? I will go have my 9th this hour. Please join me if you wish. I grow tired of these tales. And he stumbles away from you.
In his I don't like the holy symbol. That scares me. Can I make perception check to see if there's any symbols that I may recognize through my travels that he may be wearing?
You can give me a religion check, yes.
Ooh. I'll take it. That gives me a 15.
Though it is hidden in the silver and purple filigree of his red robe, you see a sort of scale-like design as this filigree is trying to create the illusion of dragon scales. But somewhere within the filigree, you see one eye. One very damning eyeball, where within that eyeball, you see what looks like 2 crowns chained together. You recognize this as the symbol of Magadan, the king of the 9 hells.
Starting off strong, guys. Really just coming in hot. Okay, Magadan it is.
And from there, we're going to jump to Sam. Sam, where are you in this party? Are you dealing with the drunk aristocracy? Are you slumming it with those working? Or are you talking to the guards who are trying to protect you?
Ooh, I think when Brother Good, is that how you say it? I think when Brother Good was around the tables, Corin was there, you would have seen this very tall, lean, pale woman watching everyone laugh at you. And she probably would have been saying something under her breath like, oh, I don't know why you don't just give him those scraps. They're awful. I know. Why would you want to eat them? I don't want to eat them. Disgusting. So she's going around criticizing everything, and but also probably trying to find like who looks like the highest up there, like the most nobles to like get in and schmoozy.
Smoozy woozy. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Ooh. And if we may take a second so I can show off my dice that I got on a Kickstarter.
Please do.
Because they're perfect for this. Do you see the eyeball?
Look at him.
Oh
It's
yeah.
It looks
it's hard. It's hard
right.
to see,
Nice.
but it rolls and it's got an eyeball and it moves. It's really
That's
great.
awesome.
Okay, these are the coolest dice in the world. Yes, schmoozy woozy. Here we go. And that was a perception check.
Mhm.
18.
Very nice. As you look around the room, you see 3 powerful noble interests. One, of course, is the very drunk Lord Rasuchin, who's impossible to miss. You see another elven noble who seems very angry, very angered at this wanton display of wealth and money. And you also see a man with long black hair, almost impossibly smooth, pale skin, much like yours, eyes like fire and gold, and these little glasses. He's constantly adjusting up his nose with his finger, and the most beautiful red coattails you've ever seen, as he seems to almost adjust an ascot and walk around, busy.
I am going to go for that last person, and I'm going to try to trajectory like where they're walking. I will also end up at that same spot that they will be walking, just kind of coincidentally.
All right. So in the moment as you kind of intentionally bump into them, they're turning and adjusting their glasses and kind of stop when they see you.
And how are you?
Evenings all around, eventually even out to entertainment.
Oh, the entertainment's awful. I don't know where they found these buffoons, and even the master of the house himself acting a fool. I don't know how you put up with it.
What wine words waste are not wasted on the ears at once to learn from them.
You know, that is what I always say. Absolutely. So what is your name? And who do you know here?
They lean in, and suddenly this kind of educated voice falls away, and they say, I have been moving around here for the past couple of hours. No, it's funny. You're the only one to actually ask who I am. It's quite refreshing to see someone actually care about someone as an individual in this building.
Oh, well, you know, everyone here, honestly, most people are incredibly distasteful. I wouldn't spend time with them at all if I hadn't obligations as one of the noble house. But it is unfortunate that no one has stopped to speak to you in such a way. And then your coattails are unlike anything I've ever seen. Absolutely, wonderful, wonderful.
Does my lady wish for a kiss of courtly hello? Nothing lascivious, I assure you.
Oh yes, right here is fine.
Of course. They take this really big colonial bow and they give you a gentle kiss and they look up from your hand. Give me a religion check.
Whew, religion check. I do have that. That is a 19.
19. They have this kind of sickening, devilish grin as they look back up to you and they kind of adjust themselves up. You look at them, your eyes starting to raise, your eyebrows arch as you recognize this figure. And they lean in and they go, that's right. I have plans this evening. It is a master stroke of just a drop in the bucket. That's all. Just a deal that's been made and a plan to further that deal. And they smile as you now know that you're looking at Al-Muhammiya, the devil lord of contracts, lies, and deals.
Oh. Good on you. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you, of course. For now, is there anybody I should just talk to, noble folk that you might want some information on?
If alliances all around are asked about, all you have to do is ask, and you can join the alliance. Could killers couple in a coup? That's a good question. But until then, if you don't wish to dance with the devils in the pale moonlight, I recommend asking that tall gentleman his name. He seems a little bored.
That one, the human.
Well, it's hard to say if they're human anymore. Malefactor, oh Malefactor, please come here and speak with my guest.
Oh, not with that name. Absolutely not. Hello.
The Malefactor is a 7-foot tall beast of a human, just clad entirely in heavy armor. They have this metal full face mask that doubles as a suit of armor and a helmet. You see there's no slit for any eyes to see through. They have this kind of one hole here that's this twisted, gnarled hole. Like someone took some sort of boring drill, just spun everything inward. And he just walks up to you, stands over you. You can hear this heavy, cold breathing echoing through metal as his large finger just points to your eyeball, almost inches away from your eyelid.
Yes, I do have beautiful eyes. Thank you. Would you like to dance?
The Malefactor doesn't move. They don't respond. They stay there like a monolith, just pointing to your eye with their big finger.
Well, this was delightful. Wonderful to meet you, Malefactor. You know, I think it's time for me to freshen up, but you enjoy the party. And I'm going to just, do a little turn and walk to the little powder room. Still sassy, though.
Oh.
Gotta keep it sassy.
Gotta keep it sassy. The Malefactor just stands there. You can even watch him as you leave with his finger still tracing your movement as you leave for the powder room. Once he's eventually out of sight, you freshen up, you come back, he's gone, like a memory forgotten.
Well, back to the shrimp table, I guess. And I will schmoozy woozy around the food.
Bit more schmoozy woozy.
Because while I am stuck up, I still know the value of free food.
Top dollar item. Go for the scrimps.
Yep. Shrimp puffs. Have you tried the shrimp puffs?
Chicken wrap shrimps.
Right.
So, as you all are making your way around the party, I want everyone to give me a perception check.
We're not good at anything. Let's go.
Listen, I trust my eyeball dice.
Mm.
Serve me well. Well, maybe not. 11.
Yeah, I got an 8.
11, 8, okay.
I got a 16.
Okay. The party continues for quite some time. People's debauchery kind of goes unabated and kind of continues onward and onward. And as you're looking through the crystal glass mirror overlooking the city and the moon itself seems to dance. Like when you're looking over a candle at night, or when heat rises off a hot asphalt and things beyond it just seems to dance and jiggle and move and buzz in place. The moon in the sky is buzzing.
I think Reginald is I think Reginald is going to make their way through the closest piece in cover. No, I think Reginald would like to go out like to a window to specifically look at it and clear their eyes and make maybe a further perception check to figure out if this is really happening.
Okay. Give me a quick perception check.
Ugh. I got a 7.
7. Okay. Looking up at the sky, you keep looking away and looking back, looking away and looking back. And no matter what you do to refresh your eyes, the moon is still buzzing like a phantom illusion at just the corner of your eyes.
Do I see anybody around me who looks perturbed by this at all?
The party in some sick tableau seems to kind of strike onward with laughter, drinks, debauchery, and complete ignorance to what the sky is doing.
I think Reginald kind of taking a second to look back and forth at everybody in the crowd.
As you look back at the crowd, you hear screaming as Lord Rasuchin's body is thrown onto the sharp and jagged edges of the fountain, impaling him from the back through his stomach. From his gut comes his own putrid red crimson wine that stains the water throughout. Standing over his corpse as the screaming continues is a woman. She carries a dagger high above her, holding the man down by the gnarled fountain, screaming, "Fear not, lords of the Seven. I, Maritza, am only doing part as a noble lord of Enshelator, and on our most lauded of knights. By the name of the great betrayed one, I will take my throne, and may we all prosper another 5,000 years." Maritza Rasuchin, the daughter of Lord Rasuchin, takes the knife, stabs it deep into the skull of her own father, and with a horrible twist and jerk, like removing the guts of a pumpkin, she rips out his still bleeding eye from his own skull. She holds the one eye high aloft for the partygoers to see. In some ancient and twisted language, she begins to chant. All the lights turn blood red as the walls become flesh and meat, pulsing and thumping as a heart does. The people of the party begin to laugh uncontrollably, while some scream in pain and drop to the floor, writhing. Others go mad and begin turning on one another in violence, stabbing and breaking bottles across heads and across throats. Suddenly, all at once, the glass of the great window that you were just looking through at the moon shatters and pops as a massive horned face breaks through it. Its hands barely able to gain purchase as its clawed fingers dig into the ballroom, taking the bodies with it. It opens its large maw of 7 rows of teeth and screams a horrible scream that makes the air feel thick like smoke under its breath. Half the attending party seems to turn to the other, something coming over them as imps and lesser demons roll out of the mouth of this big creature like bile. And the hunt is on as they give chase.
Okay.
So now's where we get to let out our screams, right?
Right. If you want to scream.
Whose turn is it and who's running where first?
Great question. I want everyone to give me either acrobatics or reflex, as now a stampede is breaking out and you have to keep up with them or be trampled.
Okay, acrobatics or reflex?
I'll take it.
Yes.
Level 0. I'll take anything. Anything over single digits. I'm stoked about.
It's a 10 for me, bruh.
10. Ian, what was yours?
I got a 14.
Michael, what's Brother Good got?
I got a 14 on reflex.
You were able to keep in track with the stampede as people are screaming for their lives. You see people running in the stampede. Head starts to shake as the flesh on their face starts to buzz like the moon did. And soon their eyes roll back in their heads as their jaws stretch and pop like bones separating from joint, and a long tongue unfurls like a carpet that soon ignites into fiery blaze. And as the fires ignite, you can smell the flavor, the taste of burning tongue meat as they start to turn on the people in the stampede, pinning them to the ground and just screaming at them as they're beating them. You have too much flesh on you. You have too much flesh. I want it. It will be mine. And they start digging their fingernails into the eyes and skin of their face. Imps behind them with their weapons crude and on fire chase you. The doors break wide open as you're able to make your way outside. The minute you smell the fresh air of Enchalator, the moon in the sky is literally ablaze. Blood red dripping into the city. In a matter of minutes, you see all of your city engulfed in flames as the same madness that befell your own party is now home. Screaming rises in the streets as fire breaks out in different cities and different buildings left and right. But you have to leave, because behind you, more and more of your own noble kin are turning to the long-tongued demon-possessed that scream for your flesh. You're safe.
Is there, and everybody's spilling out of this place has been maddened of some sort, right?
It does seem like half of the party has become maddened. Half of the noble party has become maddened. You feel so far, aside from some adrenaline and fear, you seem okay for now.
I just realized I never described what my character looks like, so I'm gonna say really quick what it is. You see a kind of a shoonie, kind of scamp, it's like a half scamper, half waddle, running out of the party, wearing just basically simple brown, priesthood robes, little corgi, but he has like has this old scarf from his corner of his eye down to the corner of his mouth, and holding like a little kind of a, I guess you could kind of say kind of like a shillelagh walking stick.
Okay. Michael, give me a reflex save.
I got a 12 on that.
As you come out, scampering around, you're making your way from the hill, which is now completely engulfed in fire and covered in the slaughter of the innocents as demons and imps start to just go to town, stabbing and attacking people and sinking their teeth into their flesh, screaming that these mortals have too much flesh. You go to the city streets. As you do, you hear this horrific sound. A beast screaming in pain. And as it crests over the horizon of the city, in the city streets, you see a celestial beast broken and chained to a golden slab, its feet like horse hooves pounding the pavement of this city's streets. You see long wings almost broken and crippled by the chains that are strapped to the golden slab. And on top of the golden slab, you see the form of a man with large toad-like eyes going in different directions, his body a bubbling royal mass. And coming from his stomach, you see faces pushing against the skin of his belly, their arms coming out, trying to reach for salvation. As this being with a golden megaphone starts screaming into it, screaming for something. And he's riding this beast, this broken celestial beast on the golden slab. And he's about to trample you to death. You beat the DC by a small margin, but you were able to jump out of the way in time. And as it does, You see a trail of fire behind the beast as it breaks down and curves around the city. The fire almost travels with him. You recognize this one and all as Betza, 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 the Devil Lord of Greed. He is here in form made whole to steal all that he can.
Not the shrimp house.
Well, you'll take the shrimp from your bellies.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering, can I roll a religion check on that celestial creature?
Go right ahead.
Like a recall knowledge thing. Okay, that's a real low roll, but you know what? I'll take it for now. That's a 7, but even if I do fail, my dubious knowledge feat will actually kick in, which even if I fail, I get a little bit of truth, but maybe also a little bit of lie.
You remember hearing stories about a celestial beast taken from the 7 golden heavens, the 7 glories around the time of the great civil war that started the devil's occupation in hell. Some celestial beast, you don't know its name, Cecil, Cassiel, it doesn't matter, was once one of the golden creatures of good, was taken at the fall, and now is a broken beast of hell.
Okay. Let's see. Brother Good is gonna kind of, after just narrowly being run over, with he jumps with a kind of that corgi yelp, and then kind of looks around, wondering if he sees either Sam or Ian's characters.
We're
out
all on the city streets together. You do notice this creature, this entity almost run over the Shuni. As you're looking around, you also see people grabbing other people and throwing them into buildings, and then throwing fire in and setting the whole place ablaze. You see people screaming and chasing each other down the street. They're already covered in the blood of another kill. Some people are taking trash cans and throwing them at others in self-defense. The city has gone full survival mode.
Okay.
Do we see each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I see if there's somebody who is like dead already and like bloody?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a medicine check.
Got it. Okay. Medicine. 15.
You see bodies littered everywhere. And upon investigation, you see they've been recently killed, murdered in the streets, blood everywhere, wounds all over the body. Probably died the past couple of minutes or so.
Okay, I'm going to go up to one of them, put my hands in the blood, and just wipe it over my face so I look like I am one of the crazed people, so nobody fucks with me.
All right, I'm going to give you a deception bonus. You'll be getting a +1 to deception checks.
Cool, okay. Let me just...
Okay. Now, you are all in the city streets of Inshillator. There's violence everywhere, yet there are people still trying to run for their lives. You can hear Betza on that celestial beast running around the city, and you can tell it's only a matter of time before he comes back. His hands not only just grabbing at people, but the buildings themselves, ripping brick from mortar and shoving it into his gut. And there's a matter of time before he will come back again and again. You must find safety, or you will be absorbed.
Can I make a perception check to see a route that he may have already flown upon? Like just flown down on and just ripped whatever out in that line is.
Yeah. Give me a perception check or a survival check.
Ooh. Yeah. Perception check with a nat 20. So Very happy about that little guy showing up tonight.
Ooh.
You are able to tell from the fire that trails away and the destruction that Betsa has made that he is going around the entire city in a large circle around the perimeter. So he will circle the entire city and come back pretty quickly.
Right. Is he going in the same line every time, or is he slowly moving into the center or something?
Definitely seems to be taking the same track every time.
Ooh.
Repetitive circle.
Okay. Anyone who is within earshot of Reginald would hear him yell, "To the middle of the city!" as he's like trying to get people to move. It may be without, hope at this point, but if he recognizes a pattern, anyone else is alive. He doesn't want to be the only one.
Okay. Do you all go with Reginald as a bunch of other members of the city scream and start to run in that general direction that Reginald is calling them to?
Sounds
Yes.
good. It sounds like
Good.
a plan.
I need
I
everyone...
recognize they're sane, that he looks sane, so I will follow them. But kind of like keeping my face down. Yeah. Mhm.
I need everyone to give me a reflex save.
It's double digits. I'll take it.
Woohoo! That's good.
12.
I got a 13. Level 0.
I got a 17.
As you start running in a group, you hear this horrible screaming noise as glass pops and shatters. Looking up, you see a member of the city dripping in blood, almost to the point you can't even see their eyeballs, holding a human by the back of the head and the seam of their pants. The person is on fire as they throw them out of the window. The body plummets 10 feet from the window, smacks with horrible smacking sound against the ground. You all dodge out of the way in time.
Whew.
And I need you to make another reflex save as Betsa has already made one lap of the city and is coming back to trample you.
No.
Oh, PJ, really quick. I know we're playing hard mode now. We
Mhm.
still all get 1 hero point,
I
right?
was just about to ask that.
You can still get 1 hero point. Time
Okay.
is counting. I need that reflex save.
Okay, just making
Much
sure.
better. I got a
Hey.
20. Dirty 20.
Good.
Got a 18.
Ah, 18.
Nice. As he starts coming by, and again, the arms from his stomach start to grow like the limbs of a grasshopper, just reaching with these unusually disjointed elbows, grabbing people left and right. You're able to dodge out of the way in time as he reaches for you, screaming something into the megaphone. As he's grabbing around, you start noticing other people diving behind cover, grabbing other people and throwing them in the way of his arms and other forms of survival. Every 5 minutes, Betsa will lap the city and come for you all. Every 5 minutes, like clockwork, you must defend yourselves. When that time comes, you can choose to duck behind cover or to sacrifice another member of the city so that you live. You will get bonuses depending on what you choose, but you must live with the consequences. The highest bonus, of course, comes from feeding the god of greed, the devil of greed, someone else in your stead.
This is
So,
this is not good for me.
so
considering
he,
what kind of-
so
Sorry.
he's spinning the city, the outer edge, and if we've moved to the inside, he can still reach us. Okay. Well, I just made it a lot easier to grab us all. Because if he can reach the center, it means he can reach the center from any part in the giant circle he's created.
Yeah, it's essentially that song, Crazy Train.
Right. I think Reginald is going to look for any place that has multiple stone walls to it. Maybe a bank, maybe a cellar of some sort, anything that needs to be kept cool, maybe even the back of a butcher's shop if it has 2 walls of stone, anything that may take a hit and not come down on him.
Give me a survival check or a society check.
PJ, question. What's the level of technology in the city? Like
One
they-
moment. What was that, Ian? What was that? I see a big
I got a
smile on your
nat
face.
20 on a society check.
Nice.
I'm,
No.
okay. I'm stoked. I'm now going to survive until almost 9 p.m. That's 45 minutes longer than the last October.
Yep.
I'm keeping
There
track.
you
To answer your question briefly, medieval fantasy stuff, very simple like Cobbledale. That being said, you are able to find, again, basically a butcher's stone building. You see that the whole place is completely destroyed. You can't tell if the blood all over the floor and ceiling is from the meats in the back or the meats that used to work here.
Wow. What a way to say it. Reginald, if this doesn't look like it's going to help him at all, or is it gross, but it would save him for 5 minutes?
It might.
Okay, I'll take the chance. Reginald's going to jump in and try to maybe hide amongst the remains.
Okay. You dive in and hide amongst the remains. You can hear the screams of the celestial beast as it seems to be coming around the city, and the screams of the god that rides him. You also hear the screams of the people still running. What do you two do? Michael and Sam.
Did we see Reginald like run into the no?
Yeah, he's right there.
Okay. Honestly, Brother Good's just gonna just follow the person who's looks like he has a plan.
Okay. Sam, what are you going to do?
I'm going to follow, but on the way, I'm going to look for some kind of improvised weapon, like a stick or something better, hopefully, than a stick.
Give me
I'll take it.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
11.
As you're making your way to this destroyed butcher's shop, you see on the city street, with the wooden handle broken and torn from it, just the full tang, bare and naked, a butcher's knife, a cleaver, still in the ground.
I pick it up and I tuck it in my coat, and then I follow where Brother Good went.
All right. So you all hide and take cover inside the shop.
Yep.
You hear the roar of the celestial beast just outside as you can feel the walls being taken almost with it. I need everyone inside the building to give me a reflex save. This will be with a +2 for the cover.
+2 sounds so nice at level 0.
It really does.
You're like, yeah!
Because that's an 18.
Reflex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got a 22.
Oh, that's a 19.
I rolled a 19. I was so excited.
Michael, was it reflex save?
Got a 15.
Okay. The timer starts again. As he runs by, you see 1,000 hands of people trapped into his belly for all eternity, ripping the facade, the front of the entire place off. This building is no longer a safe haven. You must now flee for your lives, but for one moment, it was protection. You see people constantly spewing and rolling forth to the lower parts of the city.
I point to Ian, what's your name?
Reginald.
I point to Reginald and I say, good thinking. Let's keep moving. If we follow him, maybe he won't catch us as quickly.
I don't know if we can move that fast. But to the last place he's been could be effective. Reginald starts thinking back at waving the holy symbol around and the reaction that was had. Is there any church that doesn't look like the fountain inside of the place we just came from?
Everyone can give me a religion check, and of course, Brother Good, I'll give you a +1 to this religion check, because after all, you are
Yay.
a priest.
Reginald lives. Okay. I came in hot with a 17.
Nice. Michael?
What I'm adding.
Okay, while you're doing that, Sam?
12.
Michael, what's that number?
I got a 23.
Okay.
Wow.
Religion is good with this character.
As you're looking around for a holy building that doesn't look like the horrible, twisted, gnarled fountain that became the slaughter dais of Lord Rasuchin, you find down the hill 2 notes of interest. You see a bunch of priests of the cloth with a bell and a book, and they're pointing off to this beautiful cathedral, ringing that escape and salvation is just in there. If you want to get out of this city alive, you need to follow them to this church. You also see a man and a woman, injured, bleeding, wounds wrapped up, screaming that they also have found a safe haven that may last until the morning. 2 groups are giving you an opportunity for escape.
I was wondering, can I roll another religion roll to know what that church is it? What deity that church is?
Sure. Really quickly, while you're doing that, give me that roll.
I got a 19 religion.
Mm-hmm. You can see that seems to be one of the many churches in this city, in this kind of city state. There doesn't seem to be any iconography, but it's the exact same architecture all across the city state. It's impossible to tell what they actually worship from the outside. But as you understand that this is still a holy building, you start to hear this laughter. Look at you sitting there with all that skin on all to yourselves. I think we're fixing to take it from your bones, yeah. And you look and you see 3 people of the city. Eyes gouged, bodies ripped, one arm broken and latched with weapons. Either they are possessed or they've gone mad by the events of the night, but these people with crude weapons in hand have marked you for death. Roll initiative as you're about to fight for your life.
Nat 20 for
Nice.
initiative.
Hey, you're the first one that gets to sprint.
21, yeah.
And so I close this chapter out, folks, of an October with Edge of Legends. I got a 3.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Michael, what did you get?
I got a 12.
Okay. Sam, you go first. You see 3 blood-soaked madness lost people of the city with broken sharpened wood posts, frying pan that's just dripping hair and blood, and the 3rd one who's just got chains wrapped around their hands, and they come at you. Oh, this'll be easy. I'm gonna take the skin off your bones. I'm gonna turn it into a blanket. Sleep real good tonight. Sam, your turn. You shall have that butcher's blade in your pocket. What are you gonna do?
He says that, and I get this look on my face and pull the butcher's knife out of my robe and say, "Nighty night." Slash him.
All right, roll to hit.
That's a. Is there any bonus, or is it just straight die face?
It
I got a
is
butcher knife?
your. I'm gonna give you your dexterity modifier. I'll be nice. Give you a dexterity modifier on that weapon.
Okay, that's a 14.
14. That'll hit. Before you roll damage, I need everyone to make a reflex save as Betsa comes back around for another attempt at your bodies.
At
Oh,
least let me slice him before I reflex him.
I have a
I'm using
question.
my hero point.
All right, Ian, what's your question?
The guy's about to attack me. Can I push him? I'm sorry. But can I push him up to that god? Can I just be like, boop?
I will allow that. If you want to sacrifice this person for a +4, you can.
He's really mean. Okay, I'll take it.
Give me an athletics check to grab him and throw him, and then
Oh.
make the reflex save.
Okay.
Since he is in combat.
I got a real smooth, even 10.
Perfect. Roll reflex with a +4. Michael, what's your reflex save?
12.
Awesome.
I got a 12.
Awesome. Sam, what's yours again?
A dirty 20.
That
As
4
Bets-
saved my life.
As Betsa comes around and starts taking the walls off the cities literally inch by inch. Ian, Reginald grabs another person, seeing him coming. What's the last words you say to this thug as he tries to take your skin from you?
Oh, the guy who's Reginald takes him and looking him close and says, "Just another monster," and just pushes him out into the hands of that god.
As you grab him and throw him into the hands of Betsa, one of the hands protruding from his stomach, grabs this person and starts pulling him in bit by bit, like someone unraveling a Tootsie Roll from its package, and then brings it into his stomach. He vanishes like being drowned in a deep river or pond. And after he vanishes, you see his face slowly reemerge from the fleshy stomach of this god, his hands grabbing at you. He has become one of millions.
Eek.
Yeah, Reginald does not look it. The tagline was good. I don't think Reginald's, very happy with the decision he just had to make.
Sam, you have all survived the wrath of Betsa once again, but there are still 2 people in the city, either demon possessed or mad from the events, that are still trying to take your skin. What was that roll damage-wise with your butcher knife?
What is the die for damage?
It is a D6.
D6. 1d6. That's a 4.
4. You get a good swing at him, and it meets cleaver to bone really hard, and he screams in pain as you pull it back. Blood starts to protrude from his clothes. He's not dead yet, as madness keeps him focused. He's still alive. You have 2 more actions left. You want to keep striking this man, or do you
Heck
wish to
yeah! Do it again. I'm gonna bare my teeth and just say, die! Okay, that's what you said. I have a plus dexterity. That's a 10.
Okay. That will just meet the AC. Roll D6 one more time.
It's a 5.
5. Tell me the tale of the first melee kill of the evening.
So you had seen her pull this, what is it, chef's knife? Butcher's knife. Yeah, spooky. You had seen her pull this butcher's knife out and start to go for this guy as the god tramples through and all this chaos happens. And as that leaves the dust in its wake, the first hit just like meets across the sternum, but he's got this otherworldly force kind of driving him forward, and she just yells at him to die and just like chops and chops and chops and just kind of just keeps on going as if she is the butcher herself. And he slumps to the ground and she's like, who's next?
Okay. He falls to the ground. Who's next? The other attacker with the chains wrapped around his hand kind of slowly raises it. You can see adrenaline is erasing all flight instinct. Michael, it's Brother Good's turn. What are you going to do?
Brother Good, first of all, can you see, is the pathway to get to the church clear from that?
You have to make a break for it. You'd have to run. Oh, wait, from Betsa? Betsa seems to cover the entire city, changing his path.
Yeah, but they're not in the way right now, though, right?
I mean, time's running out, so I would make a choice.
I'm going to use all 3 of my actions to GTFO.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Right. Oh, that's bad. 16.
Not bad at all. You are able to take all 3 actions as you witness this woman slaughter this man like a pig. You proceed to run away. You can hear the other one screaming after you, saying that he's always wanted to have a pet.
Let's see, Brother Good's gonna kind of yell out, "Ali, preserve us! Quick to the church!"
Ian, your turn next.
The people perceived earlier, they weren't the people who attacked us weren't a part of the group that was collecting with the priests behind them. Correct? They
That's
just
correct.
came out from like behind us. Great. Reginald is going to make a run for the church. If we are in actions, he would use all 3 of them, or well, at least be able to stride, I believe is the term.
All right. Acrobatics check to get all 3 actions to run to the building.
Okay. So, oh my God. I've just rolled the 3rd nat 20 for this evening. I am
Nice.
blown away. Okay, well, there it is.
All right. You are able to put knees to chest and you are sprinting almost to the point where you're getting to the center of the city and you're seeing the kind of division in the streets happening. Some are flocking to the priests and going into the cathedral. Some are flocking with the injured civilians and very curious as to where this supposed safe haven is for them as well. Now, it is the time for the last attacker standing. He turns his chained fist to Sam. I guess no one's a friend tonight. He rolls an 8 to hit with his first strike. What's your armor class?
11.
Misses by 3. As he makes this wild swing, he tries to bring his fist back. This is going to be a 12.
It does hit, yeah.
You're going to take 3 damage as he brings his hand back around, cracks you across the jaw. And then from there, he is going to try and tackle you. He misses. It was almost a critical fail, but he dives for you. And in his exuberance, he dives a little too shallow and kind of hits his jaw against the ground in front of you. It's your turn now. You're still in combat. What are you going to do?
Ooh. Is there a bonus for him being prone?
Yes, there is. I'm going to need everyone to make a reflex save as Betsa comes back again.
A
No, I'm
horror-
gonna eat him. I'm gonna eat him.
You're going to throw him?
Yeah.
All right. Give me an athletics check to grab him and throw him into the man.
This is my D20, right? Yeah. Come on. Eyeball dice. Yeet that mother. That is 15.
15 will work. You are able to use him. Give me your reflex save with a +4. What was yours, Ian?
Reginald's reflex save was a dirty 20. I rolled a 19.
Yeah, look at you.
Woodward's gonna die immediately when we get back to the
Yeah.
game. Just like Koragos is
all
just
your
gonna
luck.
pull his heart out from his chest.
All
Just
your
done.
So, Michael, what was your save?
Got a 14.
A 14. Okay. Sam, with a +4, what was your reflex save?
I got 19. Yeeting
19.
pace.
There's one on the ground. You grab them. What's the last words you say as you throw them into Betsa's clutches?
No friends here.
No friends here. And sure enough, he gets thrown. He smacks against the massive flesh, and with the hands grabbing him like some sick rescue ladder, he gets pulled into the river of his corpulent flesh and is added to the horrible ocean of hands and faces trying to get out. Absorbed, Betsa rushes through. Everyone is able to successfully dodge him one more time. And the timer goes on again. So, making sure it works. So, what is your plan now?
I know Brother Good's trying to GTFO to the church.
Trying to get to the church? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You get there, and sure enough, you see the priests are like, a brother of the cloth, please. Salvation is this way. Escape from this city. We have a special exit in the cathedral. Just follow the rest of the priests. We'll get you to safety. Follow everyone else. They're ringing their bells, and they're lauding you that way.
Brother Good being the person he is, like, says, I will in a moment, and then just kind of looks and tries to kind of motion Ian's and Sam's character. Sam, I forgot your character's name again was?
Corin.
Corin. Hurry, run!
I will do so. I will follow that. Your corgi? Not sheep.
Yeah, corgi.
Corgi. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're going into the church. Great. So you seem to be kind of collected with a bunch of other people and a bunch of other priests, again, wearing these long robes and these kind of like holy vestments, arraignments. They keep you, eventually pull you into this large cathedral. It is dark. It is quiet. There seems to be this kind of unusual huddling of masses. As all the priests come in, they close the door behind them, throw a large wood arm across the doors to keep it locked. And then they all take a moment to breathe and sigh. Everyone give me a perception check.
I don't know why I didn't feel bad about it before until we got into the closed building.
19. I don't even want to know. Someone
Right.
else take my 19.
16.
I got a 7.
A 7. So that's everyone but Reginald. Reginald, you see the priests just start to kind of remove their raiments and kind of do a sort of holy gesture in thanks and peace, and they start offering people food and drink. But the other two, you see blood soaking the rugs of this temple, blood staining the walls, blood staining the ceilings, and you can still see desiccated corpses up on the dais. As the priests begin to say out loud, torches lighting around them. Reginald's not aware of this yet until the torches light. Sam, Michael, you get one action until this reveal. What are you going to do with the seconds you have?
Is there a way out or no?
The only way you can see is the big doors that are barred by the wooden arm.
And there's torches. Okay. I'm grabbing a torch and running to that door, trying to get out of it.
Okay. Give me an athletics check with a 1. Yeah, give me a flat athletics check as you're struggling against the weight of this wooden arm.
9.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Michael.
athletics. Yeah, no, 9. No.
You know what? Brother Good's he knows something's off, and he's gonna move over to the door, and I guess, can I aid? Actually, aid wouldn't help. So you know what? I'll try to get ready to push up that the barred door thing.
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
13.
Still can't quite get it up. You're struggling, you're fighting, but you're not quite there yet. As you do, Ian, you hear all the priests at once begin to chant in prayer. Blessings to the 7 families and the fallen 9 for the bounty we have harvested this moment. Let them give us strength. Let us be bathed and blessed in their malice. And may the betrayed ones grant us power. And with that, you see the priests bear weapons and drop their remnants, and you see they are splattered in blood. I need an initiative check rolled again as the priests turn on you.
Ooh. Oh, I got a 13.
I got a 13 as well.
10.
Okay.
Hopefully it's a lucky 13.
I mean, look at where we are. Does it look like it's gonna be a lucky
Yeah.
13?
It was somewhere in my mind got completely taken off of track of, I'm not going in there. Those priests are trying to lure as many people into a kill box as possible. Oh God, that giant demon. Let's go follow those priests. Completely
Yeah.
lost my thought of train of thought, and I don't know why.
Yep, same.
So you hear screams in terror as the priests start to, a long flaming tongue roll from their head and eyes roll into their skull as they show they're possessed by Betsa, the god of greed. And 5 screams of pain as they leap into the fray and start hewing through the citizenry. 3 break off and come to you. Okay. All right. So, 1 is going to take this crude looking knife and try to stab at Sam.
I don't have very many hit points.
With an 8, does an 8 hit?
No! Get out of here.
The other one is going to turn to Reginald the Monster Hunter with this horribly old rusted spear, gnarled from age, and try to stab at him. There's a 16 hit.
Yeah.
You take 4 damage as it bounces across your gut.
I'm alive.
Yikes.
I'm alive. I'm alive.
This next one, I want to apologize, goes to Brother Good, and it was a critical 20.
Oh.
No, our puppy.
Oh.
Well, he's not a
Oof.
puppy. He's a puppy man.
Okay.
You're about to do this on
Puppy
stream,
man.
huh?
One of the priests walks up to you, reaches into his tunic, pulls out this kind of handheld threshing claw used for digging gardens, and rushes up to you, and with a full swing lands the entirety of it into your chest for 7 damage.
No.
How much HP? Nope, we'll just take it from there. 7 damage.
Yeah, that's I'm at -2 now.
Ah.
Yeah.
And the Shuni priest is dropped. Not dead, dying. The priests are done. Next up, Michael, I need you to make a recovery save. Make a D20. I want to see a 10 up on this die.
Just flat.
Flat.
Oh, lucky 13 again.
Lucky 13. You are stabilized at 0 HP. Unfortunately, that will be your turn as you are holding on to your own stomach as this claw went from the chest down to just the tip of the stomach. Ian, your turn.
Okay. Having survived the first attack, is the best way that can be said. I think Reginald is going to try to lift the door open, or lift the bar across the door open as well. You said athletics check, right?
Yes, sir. This will be a full round action to get this up.
I rolled an 18.
All your adrenaline kicks in from your feet, through your knees, through your stomach, to your shoulders, and you start pushing with everything you have left. This wooden arm would take the strength of at least 10 men to dismount, and you are pushing so hard that you can feel your teeth crack, your eyes go white as bright stars speckle your vision, your fingers go numb, and you can feel your lower back, maybe even your spleen itself, get wet and cold as you exert all possible force. But you do it. You pick it up out of the hooks of the door, and the door falls open in front of you. Freedom is 5-foot threshold away.
And that was my full round action, right?
To pick that whole thing
So,
up,
yeah, totally. I am 5 feet away from freedom with 4 hit points. Woo!
Sam, your turn.
4 hit points. Nice.
Yeah, I already took. Yeah, I'm
Nice.
sorry.
I'm at 2, so.
Oh, right.
So seeing the door open, seeing the poor Brother Good on the ground, I've got my torch, and I am going to leap over Brother Good's body. And however, is there anything flammable in this room I can hit on the way out with my torch?
You do see a lot of unusual incenses and other powders in this room.
Doing it, I'm lighting it, and
All right.
I'm leaping.
Give me a thievery check.
Ooh, thievery. 14.
What was that again? 14?
14.
As you leave, you still have that candle, I believe, in that torch in your hand. You find this teeny tiny little metal pot, like a I don't want to say cistern, but a metal pot full of this heavy smelling black powder. You throw the torch in. Ting, ting. And with great dexterity and aim, you are able to slide the torch into the powder chamber, which then quickly ignites as fire races up the side of the building, catching on old, dingy ropes, outdated, ancient wood, painting, and then, of course, across the dusty, bloody floor. The church ignites in flames. The priests' tongues on fire seem to almost become silhouetted by it as their eyes pierce through the veil of darkness and fire. And you escape. The fire will stop the priests from giving chase. Sam is free, but it's now the priest's turn. I'm going to make a roll for them. I need everyone here to give me, by this I mean Ian and Michael, who is currently bleeding to death.
Stabilized. Let him have it.
Stabilized. I will need you to make for me, and I will allow this one for Michael, either a stealth check or a diplomacy check.
Ooh, I actually do have points in diplomacy.
I think Michael's character has actually lasted longer and bleed out than my character did the first October.
Yeah.
Good times.
That 20.
Yeah.
Yes!
With my bonuses, that's a 23.
Yes. Yes.
I love the memories we make together, y'all.
Right. I got a 15 total for my stealth check.
Okay. As the fire starts to engulf the entire inside of this desecrated temple, the priests look at the fire, they look at you, and they seem to, even though their face is looking right at you, they seem to lose sight of you. They seem to lose track of you. Like a bat whose sonar is no longer working in the dark. You are both able to escape, assuming, of course, you pick up the stabilized.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it with me.
Dragging the priest with you, dragging the good priest with you. The other priests then turn to where the fire is congregating the worst, which is on the dais. And in the backlit fire of hell, they descend upon the rest of the trusting citizenry trapped in the temple. You are free. Many innocents are about to be slaughtered for food.
Yep. Ain't me though.
It's true. Now the question is, you're back on the city street. You can hear the pounding hooves of the celestial beast as Betsa continues to scream. Does anyone here speak Abyssal or Infernal?
I do.
As the being makes their rounds, you can hear them shouting in this garbled, horrific nightmare tongue that seems to declare to all that they want everything. I want this building. I want that one brick. I want this street. I want those stars. I want their shoes and give me their feet. I want their food. I want their drink. I want their lives. I want what they think. I want what they know. I want what they love. Give me their children. Give me the skies above. And they keep screaming all the things that they want, demanding. And as they demand, you see those with burning tongues arching their back and then looking off seemingly into the chaos. And it's this point that you realize the violence, the madness that these possessed are doing. They're following the orders of Betsa to bring him what he wants. Any random thing he screams.
Okay. Well, yikes.
I think
As
Brother Good
I-
would say, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say Brother Good would say something, but I think he's still unconscious right now.
Also, he can't speak Infernal or Abyssal, can he?
No.
Yeah, so only Sam would understand that. Sam, what were you about to say?
As I hear this, I am going to I'm gonna pull some shoes off a body.
Okay.
And then once I have them, I'm going to. Is there any way I can bandage myself just to like maybe get like one singular hit point or something?
Give me a medicine check. Is anyone trained in medicine?
Just have a +1, but
Okay.
that's a 9.
You unfortunately are able to wrap the wound, but you have not done anything to recover. So you're back in the city streets. You have a pair of shoes. I'm guessing you are taking these shoes and you want to give them to one of the demon possessed.
I was gonna eat him when that guy goes by, but I'm still looking to see if they come out of the church.
As you look to see the priests come out of the church, you do see 4 of them just heavily breathing, their body now covered in scarlet gore as they just kind of look aimlessly into the city streets. And they grab the doors, these massive doors, their cathedrals, and they slam them shut in their building. And as it closes behind them, you hear the muffled scream snuffed out short.
Did I see Brother Good and Reginald leave before that, prior to that?
You do see them spill into the city street about this time.
Okay. I will meet up with them. Like, how you made it? He wants everything. Maybe you grab something to throw his way, so it doesn't become you.
Right. I was like waiting to see what Michael has to say, but at the moment,
I think you know what I'm thinking. I think I know what I'm thinking.
And then I see Brother Good. I'm like, oh, I will try to bandage them too, but I didn't do a very good job on myself. So we'll give it a go. I rolled a medicine check. It's a 20. It's a dirty 20.
Ooh.
Okay. I think that's perfect. You are able to recover Michael 5 HP.
What? That's amazing.
Now, Michael,
For
you're
what I
at wounded 1. So if you're dropped again, you'll be starting off at dying 2.
Okay. All right. Do I regain consciousness now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brother Good, kind of, was coughing, kind of licks his wounds a bit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, what's
Don't
going
know why I
on?
did so much of a better job on you than I did on me.
Oh, what's going on to the city? Oh. Ailee, preserve us. Oh, we must seek
Michael.
shelter.
Give me a reflex save. Everyone give me a reflex save.
Throwing the shoes.
That'll give you a +1 to your reflex save.
All right.
Got a 14.
Okay, 14.
Yeah, dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
16?
16. And Betsa carries by without taking a single one of you.
To take the shoes. I need to know.
One of the hands definitely grabs his shoes in midair, and you can almost hear, you could see the face in his belly going, "Master, I brought you shoes. Can I go free now?" And you can hear in Infernal the voice continue, "No, once you are mine, you're always mine." And he continues to shout into the night air more things that he wants. And that is where we're going to take a 5-minute break. When we come back, we're going to have the second half of the first episode of the Crimson Carnage. See you in 5 minutes, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, everyone. And thank you so much for sticking with us for that brief break. Big shout out to Effie Burton. Thank you so much for the gift subs. Really means a lot. We appreciate it. We hope you like this one. Saw in the chat that you didn't get to see the Daltonshire one, so hope you like the Crimson Carnage. That being said, as the group finds himself outside of the cathedral that is on fire with demon-possessed priests killing and eating the innocents that trusted them, you see the sky, the midnight sky is no longer the pitch black of night. It's now the blood red and orange burning of fire. As far as the eye can see, it looks like there is this ember light that'll glow in the sky. Everyone in the city is still running and screaming in terror. At this point in time, the stampeding has finally settled down somewhat. You still see the man and the woman who are very badly injured trying to get whoever they can rally to a place that they say is a safe haven. You can hear the beast running and screaming around the city as Betsa constantly declares all that he wants. You can see those covered in blood screaming to the skies that this will be the end of days, and you see some and others saying that this is the night that will forever bring the devils to this world, while others are just screaming against them, lashing out with vitriol. The city street is covered in violence. What do you do in the midst of this chaos?
If the streets are covered in chaos, I'm wondering if the sewers may not be. Is there a way to get underneath the streets and get moving? Hopefully to someplace that could be an actual church.
It is very hard to say where you are right now. If you want to try to figure that out, you can. You can make a society check.
Might as well.
Can I aid that society check?
Why not?
I can't. Was it? I think it was Pengu Witch Doctors that said I needed to put these dice away for non-Woodwort things. That is another nat 20. These are the dice that almost killed Woodwort so many times.
Oh my god.
Maybe you found
And now
dice, found the character.
Reginald Silverspire is the person they're going to stick with for the next 4 weeks. Okay. So society, nat 20, there it is.
Okay. As you mention about the sewers, you see the very injured man and woman look to you and they go, "Yeah, that's where we're trying to take people. There's an aqueduct. It's a bit of a far away at the other end of the city, but we're trying to take people to the aqueduct. We think it's the only safe place we can be for the night, maybe."
Well, as long as the monsters and people and devils, it looks haven't gotten in there, I think we'll be okay. Look, I survived that thing inside of a butcher's quarters.
I am blessed and amazed at your survival instincts. I have been fighting alongside my sister here with the denizens of my own home. I'm beaten, I'm bloodied, I'm bruised. My spirit's not broken yet.
Well, the best we can do is push on.
Indeed.
You said these aqueducts are where?
The other end of the city. We have to go. We're trying to get as many as we can in one caravan, because if we get there, we shouldn't be coming back to the main city.
Right. Reginald looks to the since we haven't been introduced, the noble and the priest, and looking to both of them. These people, they're hurt. Is there anyone who can help them maybe keep up with the group?
But the good goes, yes, but we must flee, we must hurry. That terrible thing might be coming around again soon.
It might be, yeah. We've just been barely able to get through. If we want to go, if there's need for help, maybe the better intentions of the people here can give you a shoulder or something to help carry you.
Oh,
Yeah,
should
looking
get on the
to Corin.
road. We
Great.
should go then.
Well, if everybody has a hand in any help they need, no matter how far knocked you are down. I forgot that our brother Good got healed for those 5 hit points, but I believe Corin isn't looking great.
Nope.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if Corin has a shoulder and somebody else to like help them through this, then Reginald will be on their way.
Can I roll a medicine for Corn?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, real quick.
Corin's thinking to herself, I'm glad he was unconscious when I hopped over his body.
Got an 18 on this.
Very good. You are healed for 7 HP, Sam.
Just to clarify,
Little one-upsmanship.
did my sheet am I supposed to have 5 max hit points?
Yes, you're supposed to have 5
Okay.
max hit points.
Thank you. Just gotta be sure. Never
for-
been level 0 before.
Yeah, for being a human, start off with 8. I got lucky.
Right after as we are going to aqueducts, I'm gonna also try to do a medicine thing on Reginald as well.
Okay.
And that's a 16.
Okay. Yeah, that's 9 HP that he's able to recover.
Reginald, looking at the bandage and such, is
Everyone give me reflex saves as Betsa comes back again.
you know,
again.
you've lulled us into this beautiful moment of RP
I know.
when we play Edge of Legends. Yeah, just talk amongst yourselves. You'll do great. And I'm like,
No
okay,
RP
great.
allowed.
This is how I talk about my character.
Now, if
Reflex,
you
right?
want to throw some of the people in this caravan into Betsa's grasp, you can get a +4.
Actually, PJ, what would I
Mhm.
roll if I actually want to try to save someone from being thrown in?
Well, someone would have to make the choice first. We'll get to that when that time comes. For right now, I want to know if anyone is going to throw anyone to Betsa for a +4.
No, I'm gonna dodge 13.
Okay.
I'm gonna try with my 11.
Okay. 11 and Michael Powell.
Reflex, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a 17.
17, 11, and 13.
Yep. Look at his face. He enjoys this too much.
Here's the thing. The fact that Ian barely made it by 1 point is what's interesting. I love that. But you make it. And 8 unlucky souls in your caravan, though, aren't so lucky, as they are still dragged up like debris from a rolling mudslide by his body.
How many were in the caravan total beforehand?
You were seeing a loose scattering, maybe 50, 60 people.
That's yeah. If that's 50, that's almost a 10th or that's not.
Can I say that Brother Good, he attempted to try to grab a hold of one of the people that got swept through and just kind of house mournfully as their hands just barely touch their fingertips.
Sure. And as they try to grab you and their fingers just gracefully touch yours as they're pulled in, you bear witness to the horror of this stranger just get absorbed into the stomach, and their face now just becomes a flesh-covered mask of who they once were.
Let's go.
Yeah, by the evil math, we have only 5 more chances before one of us gets got.
Yeah.
So let's move.
And with that, the brother and sister scream and lament the loss of so many. And at that, it is the brother, the sister says, "Brother, we're losing too many. We need to go now." Agreed. That's it, everyone. We have to leave. Head for the aqueducts. I need everyone to give me a survival check as you're trying to make your way through this city. If you want to use a society check instead of a survival check, you can do that again, kind of tracking the city.
8.
I'm just full of those lucky 13s.
Ooh, I got an 11.
So, as you continue to go, ducking this way and that, 8, 13, and 11. In the chaos, as possessed are breaking from buildings and trying to attack you, as people who have gone mad with the violence have now formed like roaming attack groups trying to take you from the group, there's a bit of scattering in the chaos. Michael and Ian, you're able to stay with the group and continue trying the path, but Sam, unfortunately, you've been pulled off the path. You find yourself trapped in a dead end. Now, Michael and Ian, give me a perception check.
I got a 6.
12.
Ian, you are very focused on getting to the aqueducts, as this brother and sister have said is the only safe haven that they can take people to. But Michael, as you're looking around the group, trying to take inventory of people as the attacks are constantly just bombarding left and right, you do notice that your friend Corin is missing. And you can only gather from looking behind you that was probably in one of these nearby alleyways that branch off from the street that you're on.
This is one of those moments where it's like Michael knows what to do, but I'm playing Brother Good, so Brother Good's
His name is Brother Good.
Yeah, Brother Good's gonna be looking around kind of worried, and he's gonna recount the numbers and go, "Oh no, oh no, oh where did you go? Where did you go?" And I know I don't have the stats for it, but can I just flavor it as he kind of goes down on all fours, starts kind of sniffing the ground, trying to, I guess, pick a percent.
Yeah, give me a perception check or a survival check. With the imprecise sense, you're starting to kind of get this unusual smell, blood and clove and something else interesting, but you're able to get something, although a little muddled. Eventually, you start kind of smelling it stronger to your left, and it's then that you see an alleyway. Sam, as you find yourself trapped in the alleyway, you do see a man with a long burning tongue and a piece of wood with razor sharp metal coming out of it. And he raises it at you as his long tongue kind of undulates in the air on fire.
Can I deceive him to thinking I'm crazed? Because
deception check with that +1 from all the blood.
Right. It's a dirty 20. I'm gonna say, brother, that way. Trying to mimic their emotions and point away from where I assumed the crowd was going.
So you say that they were spawned in Infernal.
Ooh, I say it in Infernal. I sure do.
Their eyes seem to go a little wider, realizing that you're probably possessed like they are. They go, brother possessed. Great to see you. You said they went which way exactly?
That way.
Oh, of course, of course. Oh,
Be quick.
Betsa does
He
provide.
hungers.
And he brought us a little dog to eat. As a Shuni priest comes pouring in the alleyway, you see Sam's talking in this horrible, garbled nightmare language to this one who turns around, eyes wide, long tongue out of his mouth on fire, wielding this wooden stick with this sharp metal thing. And he looks at him and he goes, and he says in common, come here, little doggy.
Slice him.
Roll to hit.
When his back is turned.
I slice him.
Slice him. That's a 17 for slicing.
That is a dirty crit. Give me 2d6 damage.
Oh,
Roll that
no.
first.
I
Roll
eat
it
him.
first.
I eat him.
Give me that 2d6 first.
Okay, 2d6. That is 7.
7. Sure enough, you take that butcher, you cleave it right into his body. You see with that hand raised, goes limp, and he hangs off the edge of your blade. If you want to, an athletics check, you can yeet his body.
Yeeting him.
I feel like we're all gonna have like that Michonne from Walking Dead thing going, where we just keep a few of these guys on our back and throw them into the god whenever we need to.
Solid. That was a 19.
19. Now I need everyone to give me reflex saves, as Betsa has found his way to this part of the city. But this means that Sam gets a +4 on her reflex save.
Got it. Cool. 19.
19.
I had a 16.
16.
I got a 15.
So imagine, if you will, a wide shot. Very wide, empty frame. Standing dead center all alone is a tiny, Shuni priest, bound with bandages and wounds just recently knitted. They look seemingly at you, eyes kind of wondering and head cocked. And then suddenly, in confusion and terror, they drop the ground. A whole body is thrown wide into the air. And this rumbling of a stampede comes rolling by as in midair, this body is snatched like a fly from a frog's tongue and dragged to the stomach of Betsa. Everyone here is safe.
Mhm.
2 are taken from the caravan.
Brother Good, when he sees that happen, with that, I'm gonna just call him a cultist or whatever, kind of holds his holy symbol, goes, "May you find your way home once again, one day."
That's very sweet.
But yes, we must be off. We must flee. We must flee.
You are quite right. Let's go.
I need Michael and Sam to give me a perception check or a survival check to catch up with the rest of the group.
That is 18.
I got a 19.
Ooh.
You quickly catch up. Ian, you can hear the sound of the Shuni and the elven woman now joining back with the group. As you continue to move around the city, I need everyone to give me one more survival check to continue tracking, or society check to continue tracking their way to the aqueduct.
It's a 12 for me.
I got a 10.
I got that lucky 13 once again.
Thankfully, this time, no one is lost. As you make your way further and further, you see just down this hill and maybe a few miles away, like 1 or 2 miles, just within eyesight. It's a bit of a walk, but you know you can get there. This massive stone building. It's this large stone square building with these long kind of aerial bridges that just flank the sky. In fact, the stone bridges are the first thing that grabs your eyes as you start seeing them hover in midair with these stone columns, how it kind of drags around the entire city. Above you into this location, this large kind of stone flat ground houses the top of the building, or houses the floor of the building. And you see, except for the encased in the center, with this large kind of unusual structure coming from it, it's just an open air aqueduct. Almost no protection whatsoever. Just an open air stone structure with these massive columns in the sky. And the brother and sister kind of, finally, everyone, we made it. Now we're still a little ways away, but if we can get there, we can be safe. But if we must hurry, or else we're still in danger.
Reginald kind of speaks up. How is that going to save us?
I wish I could say. I work at the aqueducts of the day. I was off when everything went wrong, and the only thing I know was that when I went back to my work to grab something, that it seemed like those possessed couldn't enter. Or they wouldn't. I don't know. But as far as I can tell, everywhere else in the city is just on fire and covered in blood. And look, it's the only place that's not on fire, not covered in blood.
Solid logic.
Can I roll a religion roll for recall knowledge on this structure?
This would be a society check.
Okay. Can I roll a society check then?
Yeah, absolutely.
God of aqueducts. They're the ones on our side tonight.
The society is intelligence. That would be a 14.
14. Pretty standard stuff at aqueducts. Generally speaking, they're there to keep the water flowing, to keep the waste from just rising in the city, so that hygiene can be maintained. This is probably some sort of cleaning or reclamation center where all the aqueducts kind of collect and move through it. This would probably take a never-ending crew of people constantly working to make sure the constant use of water is clean and moving. That's about all I can figure out.
Brother Good is gonna go look at it up down and well, it's better than nothing. And well, we better hurry before that terrible thing comes around once again.
Reginald reluctantly nods and keeps moving, but after the church is not exactly excited about going near anything with a large group of people.
Okay. So you continue to head to the aqueduct with everyone else? Good. All right, give me one more survival check, as now you have your target in sight and you're just working your way through the city infrastructure to get there.
10.
Yeah, I got a 7.
I got an 18.
Okay. You all start moving through the city. And eventually, as you come down this long, winding hill, you come into another part of the rear end of the city structure. You can see maybe half a football field away. The aqueduct is just there. But as you look, you see Reginald is not with you. As you're moving around and about, burning bottles of glass were thrown at you and people came out of alleyways to attack you. They were overwhelmed, but in the chaos, once again, you were muddled. Your group was scattered. Ian, you think you formed back with the group, and it's about the time that you hit a dead end when you realize that you have actually accidentally followed 4 people who have gone mad. They turn to you, blood all over their bodies, scarification, self-inflicted, just like carving words like greed and betza and food just all over them. And they kind of raise their weapons to you. And they go, "You've gone the wrong direction, haven't you?" Well, looks like it's the right direction for us. I need Michael and Sam to give me perception checks.
12.
4.
No.
Your nose is overwhelmed, Michael, by the smell of putrid water. It is like bay sea, but something is wretched about it, and it's completely covering your senses. Meanwhile, Sam, you realize Reginald is gone.
Reginald. And I will attempt to perceive them or figure out where they went.
Okay.
No, I will go actually to Brother Good. Oh, they're no. Well, I don't know that. Brother Good, Reginald is gone. Can you help me find him?
Yes. Oh, the smell here. It's terrible.
Let's just backtrack a few steps. Let's head this way.
Yes.
Try to kind of retrace our steps.
And get to the aqueduct.
And on the way, if I see any like stuff or people or bodies, I'm gonna try to like pick something up or have something to eat if I need to do some eating.
All right. Then I'm gonna need Brother Good and Corin to make survival checks.
That's a 7.
14.
14.
He got a
Corin
7, right? So I'll end up where he ended up. Problem solved.
Corin is a bit distracted from the many cadavers that line the cities. You are feeding off some of their last essence of life force. You are covering yourself in blood for a refresh of your disguise, and you are finding some makeshift weapons that they died in vain carrying. You also get a lead pipe, which is a 1d4 bludgeoning damage weapon, but you won't be taking any penalties on the first strike with it. That being said, it is Michael. Your nose starts to pick up something. And as you start to follow it, you come around the corner a little bit of ways. And it's then that you see these 4 people in the alleyway kind of starting to horseshoe around Reginald, brandishing their weapons.
Seeing this, you know what? Brother Good at this point is just gonna pull a Hail Mary, doesn't know what's gonna happen, pulls out his holy symbol
and makes a reflex save.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hooray!
oh,
Come on.
I got a 16 on that reflex save.
I feel bad about this one. Let's see.
don't say it out loud.
That was a 13. That's not the worst thing. That's
I
ever
got a
happened.
13 too.
Okay.
Betsa screams by on the back of that celestial beast, taking 2 more people from the caravan, but leaving you 3 alive in his wake. The beast turns around and starts going through the city once more. Thankfully, you've all survived. Michael, what were you doing again?
Brother Good is gonna hold up the holy symbol of Eileen, and actually in Celestial, because that's the language that I picked. And he's gonna basically kind of howl / shout. Back, creatures of darkness! Leave this man be!
Ooh.
Give me an intimidation with a +1.
Ooh.
The Celestial is actually a nice touch.
Yeah.
Then critical 20.
Yep.
Nice.
Go, little puppy,
He's a
go.
good boy.
You
He's
shall
a good
not
boy.
pass.
So the blood-soaked madmen of the city look in confusion. And then one of them goes, "No, I know this one. He's the holy hound of vengeance. We must flee. I will eat our flesh instead. That doesn't make any sense, but I'm terrified." And they start to skitter up this wall, and they finally get over, and they peel away. You have successfully intimidated these 4 madmen of the city.
Oh, Reginald, hurry. Must get back to the group. Must get to the aqueduct.
Reginald, seeing as far as he is concerned a guardian angel lift a holy symbol aloft and scare away the demons, is actively in tears as he moves forward to brother to Brother Good.
Hurry.
Okay. And he's trying to just like put himself together as he's like wiping away.
So everyone is able to get back with the group alive. In the time you spent rescuing Reginald, you come back to the group and you see there's this palpable tension. His chests are tight and backs are hunched and the hairs stand on their end. No one's moving a muscle. You see the brother and sister that's separated from the group by a little bit, and they are surrounded by 20 madmen of the cities, some with tongues on fire, eyes rolled back in their skulls, some just covered in the gore of their own victims, still mortal, but mad from the violence. And they seem to be reasoning with these groups, or trying to reason with these would-be attackers. And you can hear the one with the long, fiery tongue just screaming, No, give me your bones. Give me their bones. Give me all your blood and all your lives. I want to take your flesh and I want to eat it too. Listen, you know we can't just give them to you. Would you take mine? Yes, and then I'll take your sisters, and then I'll take those friends over there. We outpower them. I'm just being polite. I'm giving you the chance. Please. I want it so much. It's driving me mad. I can feel the back of my skull on fire. But I don't want to. Please, I'll sacrifice myself, and then I'll take your sister, and I'll take your friends. Your sacrifice will mean nothing. I'm just being polite. Give me your lives for free, please. Please give it to me for free.
I think I don't see a way to help except by causing a distraction and hoping for the best later. I have a feat. 1 second. I believe it's part of the background. It's a performance feat, and it lets me captivate 10 people. Let me see it. Oh, I'm having a hard time finding it. Sorry. Entertainer. There it is. Fascinating performance. So sorry. When you perform, compare your result to the will DC of one observer. If you succeed, the target is fascinated by you for 1 round. If the observer is in a situation that demands immediate attention, such as combat, you must critically succeed. I am not an expert, so I can't fascinate up to 4, but I'm hoping to fascinate maybe the 1 and then run off the best I can. At least cause some sort of distraction.
Okay. So I believe
So I need a
that
performance check against
sir.
their DC, which it says will DC.
Can I aid with my courtly grace?
I just aid.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Aid with courtly grace. What would you like to do, Michael, to roll for the aiding of this roll?
You know what? Can I roll religion and basically just quote scriptures?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
I would like to aid by in Infernal, walking up confidently and speaking to that head possessed one and saying, "Brother, your will be done. But first we need more. This is not nearly enough. Bring more here before the feast will begin." And I don't know how specifically that's going to tie into Ian performing, but that's all Corin can think of.
So give me that deception check and give me that religion check, Michael.
Yeah, I got a dirty 20 on that.
Nice.
19.
Okay. So, Ian, you're going to roll your performance check with a +3.
Okay. So my performance check is also a +3, so I do get a +6 in this situation, which takes me up to a 17.
Let's consult the stat block really fast.
Yeah, I don't know what the will DC of a fiery tongued madman is.
So, Sam, as you walk up to him and you start speaking in Infernal, the brother and sister look confused as he's looking to them. And kind of suddenly looks at Sam. And then, Ian, you start to speak. Give me your performance, if you will.
So I may not understand Abyssal, but I have a feeling that seeing Corin kind of move into this and the pleading, maybe with body language or something, to this point, Reginald tries to put on his best monster hunter guise. And goes into looking at the man with the flaming, or the possessed being with the flaming tongue. You have entered this city and you have come upon us with terror and destruction. If it is not for I, then this city would be lost. Today, you will be another monster, another one fed to your god, and just tries to lay into this guy as much as he can, ending with, the hound of vengeance stands behind me. Holy light will rain into your eyes until you see the truth. And waits for the response.
But playing off of that, Corin will say, "Brother, run, eat more over there," something along those lines, and I'll act very scared of Brother Good.
Brother Good is going to basically be standing behind Reginald and in Celestial quoting the scripture of Lee, which is, "We will stand on guard, stand firm in our belief. We will stand tall. We will stand strong. We will accept all those who come to us and offer them mercy."
So as you're preaching the word of Ile, the sort of God, or the way of the spirit of family and community and togetherness, you're saying this, and the possessed just kind of shirks, and they look in horror to Ian, declaring them as the holy hound of vengeance, and then looking to Sam's character, Corin, is like, "You must feed more." "Traitors, you brought amongst us this celestial vestige. We are too weak to kill something so strong." They look over their shoulders slowly to the non-possessed madmen covered in blood, brandishing weapons, and they go, "And we must have more to take more. Brothers, we must root the wolves hiding amongst the sheep." And they run at the madmen covered in blood. The madmen brandishing weapons look confused and go, "Oi, no, this wasn't the arrangement." And they start running to meet them. The combat is bloody. It breaks into a city brawl. I need everyone to roll initiative as you are now being swept up in a street fight.
I also just realized this is very fitting, since Brother Good, not only is he a Shuni, he is an Asimar Shuni.
Oh,
Right.
So he's literally a holy boy.
He's the best boy.
Is that is that based off perception check?
This would be based off a perception check, yes.
Beautiful. Still a 0 modifier, but I thought I'd ask to make myself feel important. I got a natural 1.
Oh no.
Michael, what you got for me?
I got a little better than a 1. I got a 14.
Oh yeah, well, just a little.
Better than a 1. Yeah.
Sam, what you got?
I got an 18. Quite good. With that +1. Eyeball dice doing well tonight.
Nice.
Highly recommend.
And when the music starts, we will continue the scene. I have all your initiatives ready here. Don't worry, Ian. Fortunately, there's no punishment for critically failing an initiative check.
Thank goodness.
Except for going last.
There is that. The two sides clash like some mighty battle of yore, but if it weren't for the city brick, the crude wooden and steel instruments, you would think maybe you were in this historical reenactment, but no. You are just in the pit of the worst of us all. People who hunger for those others, what they have left they take. And they crash and they spill into you. Going first in the initiative is Sam, as these two groups of 10, this 20-some deathly street brawl starts to spill over onto you. What do you do?
I look at the celestial hound of reckoning, and I say, "Oh no, he's after me!" Oh, and I start running. I start running for the aqueduct, and I look at Brother Good, and I look at Reginald, and I just wink very loudly.
All right, so you start booking it for the aqueduct. I'm going to need you to give me an acrobatics check to run through combat as fast as possible.
Heck yeah. 10.
10. All right. All three of your actions will take you to the midpoint of the fight. You are not able to break out of the fight entirely. So this will put you on the radar for both sides as they're fighting. But
okay.
on your next turn, the DC to break free of this fight will be a lot smaller.
Okay.
Next up, the possessed will attack. As you start running through, Sam, you start seeing these people clashing weapons in the street, like a bed knob just with a knife through it, just clamoring steel chain, and they look to you with their wide eyes and their long burning tongues. You are no possessed. You are not the child of Betsa. You are a traitor. And they drop the weapon that they are clashing with, and they turn their attention full to you. Long tongue, on fire, coming down to their waist like a venom symbiote. They turn and swing at your head.
I don't like that.
And they critically fail. They swing and whiff by a mile in their rage. In their rage, you see two more break off from the line, and they make this little trio just running after you with weapons swinging wild. They come at you again. Critical fail.
Oh my god. You are not a brother. Yes.
On the third strike against you and a blind fury, the penalties would be way too high. They miss you a third time. You are safe from the wrath of the possessed. Next up is the madmen. The madmen, seeing a break in the formation, are going to spill out and start attacking people around them. Odds, evens. What's your AC, Ian?
13.
You take 3 damage as one of them swings what looks like this rusty, like ice skating blade on a baseball bat, making a makeshift axe right at your gut.
Good to know that these citizens were enjoying ice skating before all this broke out.
Right.
They have class. Yeah.
Family sports.
They try to strike at you 2 more times. With the penalties, they are going to miss you both times. That being said, Michael, your turn.
First 2 actions. Brother Good's trying to just GTFO as far as he can. First 2 actions. Sure. Athletics, right?
Acrobatics,
okay. That is a 16.
You are able to break through combat with those 2 actions without anyone trying to attack you. You have 1 action left as you are now way outside of the fray.
Now he's outside of fray. He's once again, it worked once, so he's going to try it again. He's going to hold up his holy symbol aloft and once again quote the scripture of Ili in Celestial. I have chosen the way of faithfulness. I am set on my path of togetherness and community. Accept Ili's mercy, even those whose conviction is weak, without quarrel or malice.
Intimidation with a +1.
is a 15.
The demon possessed that are just everywhere in this city, you see them kind of cringing in terror, looking in the sky. The madmen take that advantage and proceed to start striking down some of the demon possessed. You can hear like the horrible, spongy, wet meat sound as blades dig in the back of these possessed beings, and they drop to the ground like a marionette with the strings cut. The end of the round goes to Ian.
Seeing that everybody is making their way across this fray, I think Reginald is going to try to do the same. Honestly, I think he's going to drop his backpack full of stuff because he just doesn't want to get clung onto in the middle of all this, and ends up dropping the adventurer's pack behind him as he makes his way through, trying to get all of his turns. It'll reduce me a bulk, so it should help me. But like try to use all his turns to get across this fray in the middle.
All right. Give me an acrobatics check.
Ooh, that is a 17.
You start making your way through this massive conflict in the city. Some of the people have gone to aid the brother and sister, so now you have almost like a three-sided battle where in the middle you have the demon possessed. On this line you have the city folk who are sick and tired of it and just want to get to the aqueduct in peace. On this side you have the madmen, and they're starting to pincer and crush the possessed. I think they're standing between a rock and a hard place. You are able to break through the fighting lines unscathed, as no one takes an errant blow at you or no one takes a purposeful strike. You are safe and out of the fight.
Reginald gets to the other side, just breathing super heavy. I don't know if we can help anymore. Aqueduct now.
The brother and sister nod, and they start shouting for the people to push back, and you start seeing the entire city come together and just almost like a football line shove the demon possessed back into the madmen, and they start breaking off. However, top of the next round, as Sam is still in this kerfuffle, the DC to get out of there in one piece, 10.
Okay, come on, eyeball dice. Don't do me wrong now. I went 6 months for these dice. You better treat me well. There's a 14. Oh, well, 15.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
You were able to duck, dive, dodge, weave, and get out of there, no problem. And as you do, you reconnect with the rest of the people. The aqueduct is in sight, and you see the madmen about to just completely overwhelm what's left of the demon-possessed and put them down in the streets. And then they stop. Do you hear something? You look up, and you hear the screaming roar of the celestial beast as it starts tearing down this tiny road to the aqueduct. One last time, the beast almost kind of turns on its hooves, sliding into position. All of the madmen absorbed into its form as Betsa mindlessly starts grabbing around at him, trying to turn the beast for one last ride. Everyone, one last reflex save.
Is there someone I can eat?
Let me say this clear as a bell. The DC to beat is a 15.
Oh no!
You are surrounded by 45 people. Each can be thrown to the belly of Betsa. You also are in an open stone square. The bonuses for cover are not available to you. It's your last choice of the episode. Do you sacrifice someone for your own safety, or do the moral righteous thing and do your best and see what happens? The DC is 5 points higher than it was at the beginning of the episode. The choice and the consequences of that choice are yours.
Who's around us right now?
The brother, the sister, and 45 innocent civilians of the city of Enchelator.
Ain't no corpses to be eaten.
No, they're all
Okay,
there in the
no.
body of Betsa.
So I have theater lore, right?
Mhm.
Is there any way to like would I get any bonuses for looking like I was gonna throw somebody to the beast? Like they would grab for them and I would pull them back at the last minute, but we could both be saved. It's kind of like a fake punch thrown on stage.
Like that quarter you put on a string, you put in a jukebox, and you pull it out to get a free
Right,
song.
right.
So surprised I know that one. I'll tell you what. I will allow you.
I'm gonna try it.
All right, give it a shot. Well, here's what
Okay.
you do before you roll.
Fair.
If you want to, you can make a theater check roll. That will give a bonus to one of these two rolls. Deception or athletics.
You hear that, kids? Theater will save your life.
There it comes.
Nope, don't buy that. Do
That-
not buy that.
I'm gonna. I am going to use it. You said either for acrobatics or
Athletics
athletics.
or deception. And I'll tell you why in a bit.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to take the deception side of things, but I'm going to try to my theater roll to help me. Sweet. Not sweet. I got an 8.
Unfortunately, you don't get any bonuses for the check
Right.
you are about to do. Now, while that's happening, Sam, I don't know if we decided to yeet or eat or keep anyone around here.
May I request that if Michael's doing anything, can Michael go first? If that's
Yes.
okay.
No, it's totally fine. I was checking with everyone, so I want to make sure I got back to Mike. Michael, what's your thought?
Real quick, two things. One in chat, clown lore, best lore. Sadly, we do not have clown lore this time around.
A
And
shame.
I was wondering actually, can I do something before I roll my reflex save? I want to see if I can inspire our little group with some words from Eiley. If they could give us a little bonus.
I'm going to say no, but I will let it inspire you for a +1 if you get the DC right.
Okay. You know what? Better than nothing.
Okay. So give me a religion check for that bonus, and then we'll make your reflex save.
It is 16.
Okay. So you're going to get a +1 in reflex save. Don't roll just yet.
Mhm.
Sam, do you have anything you want to do to enhance this roll?
I do. I'm inspired by Ian. I'm going to use my only lore to help in this situation.
Okay.
My lore is genealogy. Hear me out. PJ,
Mm-hmm.
who is the least related to me in this crowd?
You are an elven noble in a city predominantly of humans. No one's related to you here.
Okay, I'm just eating the person next to me.
Give me an athletics check. This is not the reflex save. I just want to get that bonus handled. Give me that athletics check.
Wow. I don't know you.
That's my purse. Yeah, we're all thinking it. Oh man.
Okay, that was a 6, so it was more like a booty bump, and it to like be like really sly on it, just like but it didn't really. They just kind of stumbled a little bit.
Okay.
So I ain't gonna do anything.
So, unfortunately, Sam, you're gonna get no bonuses to your reflex save. Michael, you're getting, I think I said a +1 to your reflex save.
Yeah.
Ian, athletics or deception?
Deception.
Okay, I need everyone to roll those things. I need 2 reflexes and a deception.
Right. Come on, eyeball dice. You were so expensive. Don't do me
I'm
wrong.
gonna use a hero point.
Last one.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
My charisma comes with a +1, so I came in with a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So, you grab someone, you do like a pump fake, like you're about to throw it at Betsy. The person's like, wait, what? And as they fake out, you see this hand come shooting out of Betsy's stomach trying to grab it. At that point in time, that's when you yank it and drop to the ground. The hand grabs where the body was going, not where you took it mid-flight. Snaps nothing in midair. You're both fine on the ground. Michael, what was your reflex save?
I'm going to describe what happens. This happens basically when the madmen are being absorbed by the monster train.
Mm-hmm.
See there how the foul ones quarrel with each other. Their desires are not upright, but the righteous will stand tall with the faith of Eileen and the community. And I rolled a 17.
2 over the DC. As
Yeah.
you say this, the hands seem to almost strike around you, striking the community around you. With fervor and focus, you're able to dodge out of the one hand that tries to grab you. Now, to Sam.
Hey,
I see-
everyone.
I think this may be.
How you doing?
I think somebody got what she deserved.
Is that a
Oh.
critical fail?
Oh no!
Now, because I promised the meat grinder would be on not as hard mode, I will give everyone one opportunity to save Sam if you wish. Only one.
Yeah, for the good, we're definitely going to go try to save Sam. You
All
know
right,
what?
now, the
Go.
DC to beat, because you have to now save someone else, is a 17.
Do I have to roll a perception check to figure out if I saw her think about her
I was
genealogy
gonna say
before
that.
she tried to yeet somebody in? Did she?
Did he
Did
see
she
me?
start asking someone, like, people, their last names? What's what's your last name, perchance?
I'm gonna say that you don't have to worry about that. You see her booty bump someone. It's very obvious it was meant to be taken. Didn't work well. You have both of you have a second to make one action to save her, a reaction, if you will. One action,
problem is-
one reaction.
The problem is Corin is not thick. If she was thick, it would have worked.
Now,
I very much specified she was very thick.
so you get one action, one reaction. It's gonna be a skill check. I'm gonna need it for you all. A skill check. What are you gonna do to save her in this moment?
You know what, PJ? I
Mhm.
want to add a little spice to this, if you don't mind.
Sure. What's up?
I'm gonna roll hard. I was wondering if I get a bonus even if I roll bad, the goodest boy will sacrifice his life for her.
Okay.
No!
Okay. Now, are you rolling to save her
Mhm.
and say that you may get eaten, or are you going to straight up take that bullet?
He's gonna try to save her,
Mhm.
but if he fails, he's still gonna he'll sacrifice his life for her.
Okay. Here's what I want.
I,
I want acrobatics check from you. DC to beat is 17. No bonuses except what the roll gives you, like what your stat in the roll gives you.
mhm. Acrobatics, right?
Yep, and you have no more hero points, so this is it,
Yeah.
all or nothing.
Why? Why'd you make us love you first?
He is the goodest boy. Let me add. It's a 15.
As Corin tries to shove a body to take the hit for her, unfortunately, it's a little too fast and it's not quite right. And it's in that moment that she realizes she has put herself directly on the path with this arm moving towards her with bullet-like speed. In that moment, her life is flashing before her eyes as she sees that right now, between the breaths, she will be taken and she'll be gone. And it is in that moment, in between the breaths, as everything starts to turn white, there's this eclipse of her vision. This little furry eclipse. As jumping in her way is a little voice belonging to a little dog man saying, "The spirit of family, the spirit of companionship The community shall not falter. And taken is the dog from this world as this long hand grabs this dog man. And as Betsa's eyes roll in his head and vibrate like two bells on an alarm clock, his tongue rolls from his face as he whips the bestial horse around. You see this one little patch on the back of his silly putty like corpulent frame. A small dog nose poke through, and two little hands break out in a sign that says all is well. All is together. And Betsa whips the beast as he rides into the city of Enshelator. The good boy does what good boys do best. They give until it kills them. And with this, the people drag their bodies, beaten, bloodied, broken, and exhausted into the aqueduct. They collapse onto the stone floors and pant heavily, looking at easily 100 eyes of other people clutching their children and clutching their things in terror. And this is where we'll end episode 1 of the Crimson Carnage of Enshelator.
Corin didn't deserve it. Corin didn't deserve it. There's no way. There's no way. Do you know what my skill check would have been to help you? I was going to roll deception to convince Brother Good that I did try to help. That was it. That was it. My deception was going to try to convince, like, oh no. That was going to be my, and then no, he decided to go first.
I deserved it. I was going to take that one. That puppy didn't need to take it for me.
No,
It's the goodest boy.
I want to give you. This makes me laugh because this will be refreshed when we come back next week. But I want to tell you about a little hidden mechanic that I've been doing behind the scenes. Last year, when we did Nightmare of Daltonshire, there was the curse of madness that each different part of the city was giving people. You did certain things, you get different curse of madness points, and eventually you fall into the madness that eldritch god bestowed. This time, it was possession points. If you got 10 possession points, you would become a demon possessed of the demon in your area. In this case, the Devil Lord Betsa. Sam was at 7 out of 10 points. Now that will be refreshed for next week's episode. Everyone's starting at 0 points again.
Me? Could it be, right?
Now you
know. No. Least likely.
Well, I hope Corin will be inspired by the sacrifice of the goodest boy from now on.
I might have to join your church.
I was going to use my theater lore and performance check to make it look like I tried to help. And then me and Brother Good were going to be fine.
You're like, theater. Oh no.
Oh no.
Hey, I named him Brother Good for
right.
You did. What a character, Michael. Oh my goodness. Oh my good.
Oh my good. That's right. And super clutch call on that sacrifice play. That being said, that's the first episode. We'll come back next week with more Halloween goodness. It'll be a very interesting survival game. Surprises. And let us all say goodbye, starting with, of course, the goodest boy. Michael, please tell them who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Let us all have a moment of silence for the goodest boy.
Woof.
Okay, that's long enough. Well, anyway, I am the dashingly dashing Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow, that's MRKAPAO, or on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff like my YouTube channel, Fantastic Tales of Adventure. And on Thursdays, I'm on the Toyzilla Network channel, where we do a show at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time called Toyzilla Live, talk about toy news and all that good stuff. And on October 9th, which is Saturday, I will be interviewing Crickele, the voice of Mai from Avatar The Last Airbender, at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, signing some Funko Pops. So if you want to get in on that action, that's www.toyzilla.com. to order a Funko Pop and sit in and ask some questions. Oh, and every other Friday now, I'm part of a cast on the Fresh Out of the Box show called we haven't decided yet. It's on twitch.tv/Johananon, and we're playing Modern Age, and it's a game that's kind of inspired by Mighty Max. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I got.
Heck yeah. I love Mighty Max. I used to love that cartoon show as a kid. Next up, Ian, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, my name is Ian, and I go by the Bearded Scald everywhere on the internet, which is Twitter. But besides that, if I have a few cool friends to announce anything for, you've heard about them before. The Type and Pint now has T-shirts and other things available, so go check them out. And also, the dice that saved my life tonight multiple times. A portrait has already been made of them. They deserve nothing less. You can check out these dice portraits and maybe get your own made by Marcy Mahoney. That's Marcy_Mahoney on Instagram. Reach out, send in a picture of your dice, and you get this in return. So go check it out.
Nice. I'm gonna have to do that with my waffle maple syrup dice. Maybe after
Ooh, that would be nice.
Yeah. Sam, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, I'm Sam Sterling, and I still have my teeth in, so I should keep doing the accent because it makes the accent really good. Well, I'm sorry, I was an awful person this game, but what a good time. You can find me online at Hey Sam Sterling in all the internet places, and I'm back with Nat 20. I took a break this last month, but we're back for some October horrific adventures, and I'm sure I'm not going to want to cry at the end of every game. Well, no, I probably will. Thank you, PJ.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time. It's always great to have you back. Like Sam said, I'm PJ. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgoff, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You can find me in our Discord, Nat20 Discord. The link should be in the chat. Try to chat with you guys as much as we can. When I'm not here Wednesday with these legends, you can find me and Michael Powell here Tuesdays, 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. talking about Paizo stuff and making characters. You can also find me Mondays, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tabletop Roles, playing Strength of Thousands. Ironically, also playing a Shuni, and just a Shuni Magus who wants to do stage magic for my friends. And some Thursday in the near future, for how long I have no idea, I will be in a D&D 5e campaign, doing some stuff. Hopefully I can give you more details on that when the heck it happens. And we have some awesome announcements for 2022 and some other exciting things. So until then, I'll see you here, same Nat time, same Nat channel for Crimson Carnage. Happy Halloween, anyone, everyone.
Anyone. Except Corin.
Except Corin. No.
Except Corin.
We had a good boy. We had a bad girl.
Not even the candy corn. You get nothing.
Candy corn.
Nothing.
All right, everyone. Look forward to seeing you here next week. I really hope you like it, love it, give us another shot, and can't wait for the next story. So we're gonna be rating in 3, 2. Oh, but we're going to Phoenix Walkie. They're doing a thing.
Mm-hmm. They're playing Out of the Abyss.
Ooh, Out of the Abyss. Yeah. So have fun with that. Be great. We know you will. Love you. 3, 2, 1.